Hello, my name is Grace Collins, and this analysis was conducted for the Introduction to Sociology during fall of 2016. The article being analyzed is titled Predictors of Helping Behavior Towards Coworkers with Disabilities by Brian K. Miller and Steve Warner from the Journal of Applied Social Psychology. The researchers were searching for any predictors as to who is more likely to help coworkers with certain disabilities. An independent variable can be defined as a variable whose variation does not depend on that of another. A dependent variable can be defined as a variable whose value does depend on that of another. The dependent variable in this study is the helping behavior of the coworkers. There are several independent variables. They are impression management, equity preference, type of disability, presence of disability, and feminine gender role identity. In this study, there are three main hypotheses. The first states, coworkers with a high level of benevolent equity preference will provide more help to workers with disabilities. The second states, coworkers with higher levels of feminine gender role identity will provide more help to workers with disabilities. Lastly, the third hypothesis states, coworkers will provide more help to a worker with a physical disability than to a worker with a mental disability. The research methods used to gather the data were a questionnaire and an experiment. 518 people completed the survey, while 133 of them completed the experiment. Undergraduate business students who were enrolled in one of the three large sections of two different management courses were solicited to participate in an anonymous survey in exchange for extra credit in the course. Their survey responses were matched to their laboratory behavior via the home phone number recorded on the surveys and on the sign-up sheet for the experiment. Some of the results included that there was no significant relationship between feminine gender role identity and helping behavior, meaning that if there was someone who revealed to have typically more feminine social behavior, it did not matter because there was no correlation nor causation between these two variables. It was also concluded that there was a statistically significant relationship between equity preference and helping behavior. This means that people who showed equal treatment of everyone were also the ones who typically engaged in helping behavior. Discussing ethical behavior in sociology is extremely important because, as we've learned in class, one of the goals in conducting a sociological experiment is to minimize the likelihood of causing psychological harm to the participants. Tactics like deception are acceptable, but only to a necessary extent. In the study, there was a mild use of deception. It was used in matching the participants' survey responses to their behavior in the experimental lab, which received approval from the university's Committee for the Protection of Human Subjects. It was an effort to not alert participants to any connection between the questionnaire and the experiment. I think any of the independent variables would interest sociologists. However, I believe the most interesting and most uncomfortable independent variable is predicting helping behavior based on the type of disability. People are less likely to help coworkers if there is a mental disability present. The sociologist might ask, why is it that humans are more likely to aid a coworker with just a physical disability than a mental disability? Perhaps what agents of socialization caused humans to behave/think this way? Additionally, why are we so afraid to help people with mental disabilities, yet so much more willing to help folks with a physical disability? It's possible a biologist would be interested in our innate apathy towards helping others with disabilities. One can infer that humans learn to assist others who are disabled because we're evolutionarily programmed to fend for ourselves, essentially survival of the fittest. My second article that I located is titled Prejudices Against and Social Responsibilities Toward the Disabled by Ismail Tufan. In this article, results show that particularly the Turkish society could pay more attention to questions of how life conditions of the disabled can be improved and how they can be enabled to participate more in social life. Specifically, members of society should revise aspects of the perception of the disabled that are incorrect or ill-informed. The overarching issue that I have found between both articles are how the disabled, mental and physical, are perceived and treated in society. The second article has helped me better understand the reasoning behind why certain people are willing to help the disabled or why some are not. The second article used the term prejudice several times to help explain the reasoning. Once I started thinking about it as prejudices, like with race and gender, the reasoning became a lot clearer to me. These are my references. Thank you very much.